Welcome back to Divine Stories. In our last video, we explored the forbidden texts that were cast aside as apocryphal by the early church. Today, we're venturing even deeper into the hidden realms of ancient wisdom to uncover one of the most enigmatic figures in Gnostic thought, Sophia, the embodiment of the divine feminine. Who was she? Why was her story suppressed? And what does her myth reveal about early Christian perceptions of wisdom and the sacred feminine? Stay tuned as we unravel the mystery of Sophia and her profound role in the Hammadi library. In the beginning, before there was form, before there was light, there was a stirring deep within the void, a desire to know, to create, and to bring forth wisdom. This is the story of Sophia, the divine feminine, the embodiment of wisdom in Gnostic thought, and the forgotten figure whose tale was buried beneath centuries of theological debates and censorship. Today, we unravel the mysteries of Sophia and uncover her role in early Christian beliefs through the Hammadi texts. In Gnostic tradition, Sophia is not just a figure, she represents the eternal pursuit of wisdom. Her name, derived from the Greek word for wisdom, symbolizes a divine power that transcends human understanding. What makes Sophia distinct in the Gnostic worldview is her pivotal role in the creation and fall of the cosmos. Proverbs 8:22-23 states, "The Lord possessed me in the beginning of his way before his works of old. I was set up from everlasting, from the beginning, or ever the earth was." This passage from Proverbs is often used to describe the personification of wisdom, which some interpret as Sophia's presence in the Old Testament. In the Gnostic texts, such as the Apocryphon of John and the Pistis Sophia, we find a more intricate and elaborate narrative. In Gnostic cosmology, Sophia's story begins in the highest realms of the pleroma, the eternal fullness of divine light and pure spirit, where she existed as one of the aeons, powerful emanations of the true God. Unlike other aeons who acted in harmony, Sophia, whose name means wisdom, desired to create something of her own. Driven by an intense yearning to understand the unknown depths of God's nature, she attempted to give birth alone, without her divine partner, but her act of creation was flawed. Without the consent of the divine, her creation lacked balance and harmony. What emerged was a malformed and imperfect being, the demiurge, often depicted with the face of a lion and the body of a serpent. This creature, whom the Gnostics called Yaldabaoth, was ignorant of his origins. Arrogant and blind, Yaldabaoth believed himself to be the one true God. It was he who fashioned the material universe, trapping sparks of divine light within the confines of the physical world. Sophia, realizing the magnitude of her mistake, was cast out from the pleroma. She fell into the chaos below, becoming entangled in the lower realms. Here, she mourned, her light dimmed by sorrow and separation. The Gnostic texts speak of her cries echoing through the darkness, calling out for redemption, longing to return to the fullness of the divine. Yet, Sophia's descent was not just a story of tragedy, it was also a narrative of hope. The very act that led to her fall also set the stage for the creation of humanity. Gnostics believed that the divine spark, imprisoned within our physical forms, came from Sophia herself. As such, every soul contains a fragment of her light, yearning to break free from the illusion of the material world. In the realm of religious thought, the portrayal of Sophia in Gnostic texts often stands in stark contrast to her representation in the Old Testament. While the Hebrew scriptures speak of wisdom as a personified attribute of God, Gnostic traditions delve deeper, casting Sophia as a complex figure intertwined with themes of creation, fall, and redemption. In Proverbs, we encounter the personification of wisdom. "The Lord possessed me in the beginning of his way." Proverbs 8:22. Here, wisdom is depicted as a companion of God during creation, yet the absence of a feminine divine counterpart in mainstream theology raises questions. Gnostics saw this absence as indicative of a larger theological conflict. They viewed the Old Testament creator, often identified with Yaldabaoth, as a flawed and ignorant deity, incapable of understanding the true nature of the divine. In contrast, Sophia's myth presents her as a crucial player in the cosmic drama. Her fall gives rise to the flawed world, while simultaneously containing the potential for redemption. The Gnostic interpretation of the Genesis creation story also highlights this conflict. While Genesis describes the Creator saying, "Let us make man in our image," Genesis 1:26, Gnostics interpret this plurality as an invitation to recognize the hidden feminine aspect of divinity. They argue that this verse implies a divine partnership that has been overlooked, suggesting that Sophia's influence permeates the creation narrative. Moreover, Gnostic texts depict the Garden of Eden as a place of duality, where the knowledge of good and evil, the very wisdom Sophia embodies, beckons humanity to transcend the constraints of the material world. The serpent, often demonized in traditional interpretations, is recast as a bringer of wisdom, urging Eve to partake of the forbidden fruit, which opens the path to enlightenment. This reimagining of the fall presents a powerful challenge to orthodox beliefs. While traditional narratives view the act of eating the fruit as sin, Gnostics celebrate it as an awakening. In their eyes, Sophia's gift of knowledge is a means of liberation from the ignorance imposed by the demiurge, inviting humanity to reclaim their divine essence. Ultimately, the conflict between the Gnostic interpretation of Sophia and the Old Testament portrayal of divine wisdom reveals a deeper struggle within the human experience. A quest for understanding, acceptance, and the recognition of the sacred feminine that has often been marginalized. As we navigate this ancient dialogue, we find echoes of a longing for balance, wholeness, and a reawakening of the divine wisdom that resides within us all. In early Christian thought, the redemption of Sophia represents a profound shift in understanding the divine feminine. While Orthodox narratives often marginalized women, Gnostic texts celebrated Sophia as a vital figure in the salvation story, embodying the wisdom needed to attain enlightenment. This reimagining emphasizes that true knowledge comes not just from intellectual understanding, but from embracing the feminine aspects of spirituality, intuition, compassion, and nurturing. As Christianity evolved, some early church fathers recognized the importance of the feminine divine, integrating Sophia into their teachings as a symbol of wisdom and guidance. For instance, Clement of Alexandria viewed Sophia as a bridge between humanity and God, suggesting that embracing this feminine aspect was essential for spiritual growth. Moreover, the Gnostic emphasis on Sophia's redemptive journey resonates with the experiences of women in the early church, offering a model of empowerment and spiritual authority. By acknowledging Sophia's role in the divine narrative, early Christians began to reclaim the feminine, emphasizing that wisdom and redemption are accessible to all, transcending traditional gender roles. In this way, Sophia's story becomes not only a myth of fall and restoration, but also a timeless reminder of the essential balance between masculine and feminine energies in the pursuit of divine understanding. The figure of Sophia plays a pivotal role in illuminating the status and contributions of women in early Christianity. Within Gnostic traditions, Sophia embodies not only divine wisdom, but also the potential for women to claim spiritual authority. Her narrative challenges the patriarchal structures that dominated early Christian communities, offering a model of empowerment and recognition for women's voices and experiences. Gnostic texts frequently highlight women as key figures in the spiritual journey, with Sophia serving as a symbol of the divine feminine that fosters nurturing and intuitive wisdom. Female figures like Mary Magdalene and other women disciples are portrayed as essential to the transmission of knowledge and truth, emphasizing that spiritual leadership is not confined to men. The tension between Orthodox Christianity and Gnostic thought is profoundly illustrated in the story of Sophia. As early church leaders sought to establish a unified doctrine, they viewed the Gnostic emphasis on Sophia as a direct challenge to their authority. The celebration of Sophia as the embodiment of wisdom and the divine feminine threatened the male-dominated hierarchy that characterized mainstream Christianity. As a result, Gnostic texts featuring Sophia were often labeled heretical, deemed too radical for a faith focused on rigid dogma. Orthodox Christianity sought to suppress these alternative narratives, casting Sophia and the Gnostic tradition into the shadows of theological history. In this process, not only was Sophia's story marginalized, but the very concept of the divine feminine was repressed. The Church promoted a singular, male-centric view of God, erasing the complexities and nuances that Sophia represented. This suppression had lasting implications, leading to centuries of theological debates that sidelined women's contributions and diminished the feminine aspect of the divine. The contrast between orthodoxy and gnosis illustrates a broader struggle within Christianity. The tension between faith as dogma and faith as personal experience. Gnostic thought embraced the idea of direct spiritual knowledge, encouraging individuals to seek their own understanding of the divine, often through the lens of feminine wisdom represented by Sophia. In contrast, orthodoxy sought to maintain control through established creeds and hierarchical structures. Yet despite this suppression, the echoes of Sophia's wisdom have persisted throughout history. Modern scholars and spiritual seekers are increasingly rediscovering her significance, recognizing that the reawakening of the divine feminine is essential for a holistic understanding of spirituality. This resurgence invites a re-examination of Christian teachings, urging a reconciliation between the male and female aspects of the divine. In this exploration of Sophia and her role in Gnostic thought, we see her not only as a figure of wisdom, but also as a symbol of the ongoing struggle for balance within the spiritual landscape. The story of Sophia reminds us that true wisdom transcends gender, inviting all to embrace the divine within themselves. In reclaiming Sophia, we pave the way for a more inclusive and compassionate understanding of spirituality, one that honors the richness of both feminine and masculine energies in our quest for truth and enlightenment. Thank you for following our videos. May God bless you. Don't forget to subscribe and share in your WhatsApp groups.